Hi, I'm Andrew Spieler.
And I'm Mary Hope Rennie.
And you're watching or listening to Behind the Sign, real stories from real estate. Welcome back to Behind the Sign for episode 43. This is our second to last episode of season 1. So for those of you who are keeping track, that's 43. Next week will be 44 weeks consecutively that we've had an episode come out. Anywhere from 25 minutes to our last episode was almost an hour with Chris.
That was a great
one.
Yeah, it was great.
But we have a special guest with us here today. Mary Hope, would you like to introduce our special guest?
I hate it. He got so surprised when we said special guest.
I know, right?
I was looking around. I was like, where is the...
Every one of our guests are special, so I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Sorry, not that special.
So this is Nate Dickey. He's the regional director of Keller Williams Metropolitan in the New England region. I said Metropolitan. That was wrong.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Keller
Williams, New England.
Yeah.
I'm so used to saying Metropolitan. So,
that's okay.
So thanks for coming.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, and so we would love to hear kind of your story of diving into the real estate world.
Okay.
And why that started. I don't know your story, so I'd love to hear how you jumped into this world.
Okay. So I came from a family that has a fairly, they were all in real estate in some form.
Okay.
My grandfather, my great-grandfather, my dad sort of. I have in my office hanging my great-grandfather's, it's a poster of the second annual Massachusetts Association of Realtors convention.
Wow. That's neat.
In 1925, and he's there, and there's a picture of my great-grandfather
That's
there.
really cool.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And back then they sold insurance and real estate and all.
So it's in your blood.
Yeah, sort of. And growing up, my father and my grandfather always said never rent. So I think that's kind of, that sort of pushed me into doing it, I think. And I wasn't a good student in high school.
Most of us agents
right.
are.
So naturally,
that is a theme that has come up.
Yeah. So naturally, I had a direction. It was unemployed or sales, and I ended up going into sales. I sold.
That's a good decision.
Yeah. I was gonna, or chef maybe. I was gonna be a chef. I actually really wanted to be a chef.
Do you know Bill was a chef?
Yeah, he went to Johnson & Wales, right?
Yes,
yeah. So I was accepted to CIA, Culinary Institute of America in Hyde Park, and I ended up not going because I ended up accidentally getting into the car business, which is sort of the other love of my life is vintage cars and stuff.
Okay.
So I ended up doing that, and I in my senior year I got into it with
senior year of high school. Okay.
I was selling cars after school and on the weekends, and I was making really good money, and I told one of my agents said that if I didn't buckle down, I wasn't going to be anything, and I told her that I made more than she did this year, and and that didn't go well really. But
one of your teachers?
One of my teachers.
You said one of our agents, and I was
did I say one of them?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm still. Let me just trying
to. But that's.
We just got done teaching a class, so I'm a little.
But I was trying to figure that out.
Talking for an hour.
Yeah.
So one of your teachers.
One of my teachers, said I wasn't going to make anything of myself, and I promptly told her I was already making more than she was.
Yeah, that went really well.
And it went well. My father came in, and he was cool about it. He actually just asked the teacher if I lied or not. And that ended that, and we left, and he said, don't ever do that again. So so that was okay. And then so I was in the car business for a little while, and I one day at the time, this was like 95, 96, I looked around, and everyone I've had every job at the front of the house of a car dealership. I was the used car buyer. I was the GM. I was a sales manager. I did F&I. And I was at the time a GM, and I was looking around at all my salespeople and managers.
Way older than.
And well, they were way older than me, but they all were miserable. Like they all the quality of life then was so bad. They were divorced. Their kids hated them. Their wife hated them. Their husband hated them. Sounds
like the film industry, actually.
Yeah, it was really not a good environment. It's much better now. It's changed a lot now. But I need to get out of here. So I left. I took like a month off in August and hung out at Lake Winnipesaukee, which was awesome. And I had already purchased a house. I bought a house just before I graduated high school. I bought a house.
Wow.
I was 19. I bought it with a buddy of mine, and it was really just my first kind of venture in business. We bought and sold like Mustangs and Camaros off the front lawn, and
I was gonna say, what kind of cars were you selling?
We were selling iron. It was junk. We didn't really have any money, so we were just selling kind of junk off the front lawn. But it was a great experience. It was a lot of fun. I was in that for a while. Then while I was still in the car business, I had purchased another multifamily, and I moved into that, sold that original house, and decided at that point that I wanted to get into real estate. And somewhere in there, I sold radio for a little while, which was really fun. That was kind of in my vacation from the car from the car business. When I left the car business, I went into.
And this is all before you're 25.
Yeah, that's right-ish. Yeah, yeah,
Right around that.
Yeah. And it was a blast. Like, radio was awesome because I was the younger guy there, and at the time, radio was a great industry. That since has changed too. So I've the internet has wrecked 2 businesses that I've been in. So here it comes, real estate.
That's right.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, so it's
Run away.
Yeah, right. So it's made that difficult. But I got pushed into real estate because I always enjoyed investing, and I was pretty good at doing the deals and making money and finding the deals. But the realtors I had, the first one was terrible. I did everything I wasn't supposed to do because she couldn't get the deal done. So my buddy and I went and knocked on the door of the house.
So you were door knocking
And
before.
of the house that we had made an offer on and got rejected, and we got nothing back. So we just went to the door. We didn't know you weren't supposed to do that. So we just went to the door
Makes sense.
and handed we negotiated a deal with the owners of the house. And they said, well, you got to send it back through your agent. And we said, okay, fine. So we went back and we sent it through our agent. And she was like, they'll never accept this. And we're like, yeah, they'll be
We've already talked.
And so,
Grease the rails.
yeah, so they accepted it, and
You're the agent we get the calls on. No.
Well, I wasn't an agent then,
Yeah,
so I was
right,
just
yeah.
I was just a customer.
Yeah,
so
just
I
a
didn't,
lowly
and I
client.
didn't know any better. And then my second agent that I got, her name was Helen McTaggart, and she was a Remax agent in Portsmouth, and she was amazing. And she made me want to be an agent because she was very successful. She had a great business. She had investment property, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And so I went and got my real estate license. I started part-time. I was part-time for 30 days.
What year was that?
That was like 27 years ago, I think.
So like 98.
Yeah.
Something like
somewhere
that,
in
did I-
that.
'cause
somewhere-
we're in 2025.
Yeah, somewhere in that realm.
Okay, yeah.
90s somewhere.
Yeah,
Well,
so
I
I
think
was.
because I've been married 27 years.
It was
so
the
that's
late
why
90s.
Late 90s. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
30 days you were
I was
part-time.
35 days. I put 4 houses under contract in that time frame, and I had 3 of them closed.
And this was
in
out
35
in
days.
Portsmouth
They
area?
didn't close in 35 days, but they
Yeah,
were
but
under
they were-
35.
yeah.
Yeah, and that was in Portsmouth. Yeah, at the time.
Yeah.
And that pretty much sealed
Sealed the deal.
me
That,
in
yeah.
real estate. And I worked for a great owner at a boutique, kind of a boutique. It was at the time it was a bigger, we would call it a boutique now. It was a bigger agency then. It was about 70 agents. And she was great, and I learned a lot. I learned a lot of what to do and what not to do. And then I was going to leave and go work at Remax, and I accidentally found Keller Williams. And it was when it was Keller Who, and no one knew about it. And I flew to Texas, and I was in a room with people that I had no business being with, and my ego was enormous. And I
So
was
you
like,
thought you were in the-
I can totally
You're
do
like,
this.
I am in the right room.
I am
Right.
going to knock this out of the park.
And that's early 2000s?
Yeah. Yes. And I didn't really have a ton of money because I was a good agent. I made a lot of money.
And
I
you
also spent
Spent it 3
all.
times.
That's a good agent.
I was
That's
spending
that's
all
a
of it.
true
So if I
agent.
sound like you,
Go
so
pay your taxes.
Yeah, right. All that stuff. You're like, oh, taxes. Wow. It's the first
Business.
time I had to save tax money. Wow. On top of that, take a year to catch up. I've done that. That was awful. But so I was down there, and at the time the restrictions were pretty tough to open a franchise. We had to have 35 committed people, and you had to have a bunch of money in the bank. So I sold 2 multis that I had, and I happened to hit the market just right. Like it was like the peak of the market. I sold them. I doubled my money almost on both of them. I had the money to open the franchise. I had 35 people committed that were ready to go. And then the company I worked for found out I was doing it. I happened to be in Burlington, Vermont. and I got a call from the manager, and all my stuff got put on the steps outside in Portsmouth.
Oh.
So I had to turn around and drive the 3.5 hours back to
Go
Portsmouth
pick up your stuff.
to get my stuff. And the owner of that company and I are fine now. We have a good relationship.
Just took a little while.
It took 20 years. No, it took like 5 or 6 years to get there, but it was the most humbling experience ever to open a Keller Williams franchise.
Tell me more about that.
Well, at the time, you had to have all these people. So I had the 35 people that signed that said they were coming. I got 11 of them to come. And I love all of them, and they didn't have the production that I needed to make that work. And again, I was like, everyone's going to come when I open this because Keller Williams is amazing, and everybody likes me. It's good. It's going to be great. And
it's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, and that didn't work out quite that way. So for the first couple of years, it was a grind. It's still a grind, but it's a different kind of grind now. It was hard to get that up and running and growing and bringing the right people around me. And I've been very lucky to be able to get a lot of the right people to come and see the vision of what we're trying to build. And I am convinced that Keller Williams is still the best. It absolutely was then, and I think it still is the best place to go and build a big business with good support, leverage support. But it's hard to sell that to people. And, I think the challenge that we face now is it's harder to keep people in the seat. Because they get distracted, like, oh, that looks like that'll be fun over there. I'm going to try that, and then they go and try that, and then they come back usually later. But it's interesting. So
Yeah, well, you know what? Going back a little bit, when you found Keller Williams, Keller who at that time, what attracted you to that?
Well, I went to Franchise Systems Orientation, which is FSO.
What even got you there?
A guy I trusted told me to go look at it.
There you go.
I was so I was literally.
I knew it was something because he just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, and back then there was no one. There
were no Keller Williams in New Hampshire at that point, right?
Correct. There was Nashville was just opening.
Okay,
and there was Portland.
Yeah.
And in Massachusetts there might have been 2.
Okay. Was this 2004?
Yeah, and for those of you that are new to real estate, the internet didn't exist the way it did now. So you didn't know. You didn't know that there were other Keller Williams. You didn't even know where that. You just heard rumors. So you didn't really know that it existed somewhere else in the New England. It just I hear there's one there, but
let's go
get your map out.
Go get on our horse and go.
Yeah, where are we going to go?
Map quest it.
I mean, we were still using 3-page contracts in New Hampshire. Yeah, right.
Atlas.
So I went down and I sat there and I went through the pitch, and I just actually waited for the other shoe to drop. Like, it just seemed too good to be true. Like, at the time, it was the highest split. We profit shared. The offices looked profitable. I had looked at another franchise with a balloon, and you needed a certain number of people at a high production level to make it even remotely profitable. And that would meant I would have a job, not a business, and I wanted to have a business, not a job. And
because you would have had to be producing as well
all the time, yeah.
And that is a very big core of so many smaller brokerages. That's the only way they can sustain themselves is if the top owners are producing.
Yeah, and there's a myth that they tell themselves and the agents, and it's well, we're profitable because we own our building. Well, then your building's a bad investment because we don't pay ourselves any rent, so we own the building, but that makes the company profitable. Okay, but if you paid rent, would you be profitable then? No. Okay. So one of the 2 items that you have is not a good investment. So which one is it? Or we're profitable because I sell. Okay, but if you stop selling, then you go out of business and you own a job. You don't own a business. And so that understanding that, Keller helped a lot with me understanding that. And I was really close to owning a RE/MAX, and I ended up not doing it. I went down and saw Keller, and I was just like, this can't be real. And I filled out the application, and they approved me. And then it was 2 years of a grind. And we opened, and I remember, like, literally we opened, and it seemed like the next day the market crashed. And it wasn't the next day, but it was really close to the next day. It was like, it was within a few months. So that was a lot. And I was, I wasn't married yet, but I was a younger guy in a pretty serious relationship. I had a house and mortgages and and that
Obligations.
And it was terrifying. And then I had employees, so now I had to make that work. So I was selling and doing it all, and that was great. And then it was very hard, and it was good for me to experience it. And I don't ever want to do that again.
What was the hardest part of that?
I don't know. All of it. I mean, it's different now. I think we're in a different kind of hard now, which you didn't ask, but I think we're in a new evolution of what the company's going to become. We're becoming the next evolution of Keller Williams now, and I think that is a similar kind of hard. Like it's a lot of hours, it's a lot of emotions because the market's tough with agents and ourselves. And I think there's a lot of challenges that are new to Keller Williams. Keller Williams was the best deal by far,
and it still
financially.
Yeah.
And it was hard to grow with them because no one believed it.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows it's a thing, and we profit share millions of dollars every year. So like just the New Hampshire offices profit share
crazy.
Well over $1 million every year.
Like it's probably closer to $2 million.
There have been years when it's been almost $3 million.
Yeah, well, our office ourselves have profit shared almost $1 million.
You guys are almost $1 million. We're almost $1 million this year. Like and they're still like, well, why? What is profit share? You don't get it. We have agents in the company that don't understand what profit share is. It's like the greatest gift. But I think our next evolution, we're going to become even better for the agents, and we're going to have a lot more service for the agents. The brokerage is going to feel that because it's going to our margin's the one that's going to get affected, and not so much the real estate agent. But I think it's an exciting time to be an agent. Like right now is probably the best time since I've been in real estate to be a real estate agent. Mm-hmm. You can make the most money per transaction since I've been in real estate that I've ever seen. You have the ability to do it with technology to make your job way easier than it used to be. Mm. The lead generation levers that you have to pull are there's almost countless.
They're switches, not levers.
Yeah. Pretty much they're switches, buttons, or you ask something.
You don't even have to push a button. You have to just talk it.
I think if you can stay on that cutting edge, I think the opportunity to be an agent right now is just so good.
You know what? That's interesting you say it, because I always say I feel like this is definitely one of the best times to be an agent. I jumped in 2009. The market had just crashed, and people thought it was crazy. And I am so grateful I jumped in 2009.
Well, you learned how to do it.
You learn how to do it. Yeah. But when you say so these agents are going to have to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
But they have the tools. We had to learn how to do it on our own.
Yeah, we didn't have. We had no video training. We didn't have podcasts really. No. We didn't have any. We didn't have a lot of classes. We
didn't
had
have
some
text.
Classes. We had. Yeah, you couldn't text. Right.
Oh no, I just shared this with somebody the other day.
You could text though. You had to go.
It was three things.
My first deal, because you always remember your first listing, and I had my first lender, and I remember sitting at probably a broker open house, because that's all you did. You did broker open houses because homes sat on the market for 3 months. This was my first broker.
3 months. That was a good listing.
Yeah. My first listing sold
6
in
months
2
or a
weeks.
year. Yeah.
My first listings, that launched my career. No, it wasn't about me. It was just, that's what. But I remember sitting there, and I got a ding on my flip phone.
Yeah.
I opened it up, and it was my lender texting me, and I was like so upset. I'm like, that's going to cost me money.
Yeah.
That was per text.
That's right.
So it's interesting that the last time we had a hard market.
Did you used to be annoyed by sidebar? Were you annoyed by texting? I was so annoyed when texting came out. I was like, this is so stupid. Just call me.
I think I was annoyed because it cost money, because I'm a cheapskate.
All right. Well,
no, I did get annoyed when we went from the buttons to text to the screen. My husband had to convince me that the screen was going to be better. I'm like, nope.
Did you have a BlackBerry ever?
Oh, I had the Palm Pre.
Okay.
Which was the BlackBerry. You flipped it open, but it was the girly version. Yeah. But I could text because you could feel the buttons.
They tried to bring that back a few years ago, actually.
Yeah, they did.
I loved the BlackBerry. I loved it. I had the blue one, and then I had the last one, the BlackBerry,
the one that
that spins
the newer one.
the little
the
ball.
pearl.
the
pearl.
the pearl, and then that last one, it was like the roulette or something.
You just lost anybody 30
Sorry,
and
you're like,
under.
what's a BlackBerry?
No,
Yeah.
but
They were amazing.
Yeah.
They
The
were-
entire country
I was a
functioned
Nokia
on BlackBerries.
guy.
Like,
Just
they were-
definitely.
Oh, you were a Nokia.
Yeah,
guy. You're
yeah.
also.
You're
a-
probably. Are you an Android guy?
Yes, he is.
No,
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 you're
oh,
one.
no, I'm
Are you
not.
one of the 5?
I'm not Android. No, I'm full Apple. But I was very hesitant. I didn't get a BlackBerry because I didn't like the idea of texting on the phone, and so I had a regular phone up until the first iPhone came out. And even when that came out, I was like, ugh, screen, like da da da. So I waited 6 months, then I finally got it, and I was like, it changed my life.
It changes your
because
life.
it was just like the
I could do
power in your
anything
pocket.
in my BlackBerry.
Well, so
I
with-
was like, I could anything. I could
Double Blackberries.
But think about that. We felt so much power in that little bit of technology.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you said that now, what a great time for agents to be in it. Not only, and I think it can be the blessing and the curse, there's so much at their fingertips. And in I wouldn't even say a hard market, it's in a shifting market. So you have to always be aware of the market and changing and adapting.
Mm-hmm.
If you can combine those two in the right way, it can be a perfect storm.
What I agree. What's the one thing you would do differently as an agent now?
Oh, he turned
this
this back.
environment.
Look
See,
at
that's right.
this.
Now I'm
You're the-
interviewing
yeah,
you.
that's right. This
The
is
host
first
becomes the
guest.
interviewee.
I love it. If I started out at the beginning again?
Right now.
Oh, right now, if I was a new
If you were
agent?
going to start, what's the one thing that you would do? 'Cause
I would have
I'll
lead
tell
generated.
you mine. Besides,
No.
I would call people. Yes,
Yes.
everyone knows that. What was the one thing you could apply? What system would you apply to your business, or
Oh.
what tool would you implement
Like a new model
right
that
now?
exists
if you were-
today. if
Yeah,
you-
just
mhm.
it doesn't even have to be a new model. I'm giving you a hint, but I'll tell you what mine is after you. Tell me.
No, I'm thinking the consistency in my marketing, because I never was. I wasn't consistent. I did this. I was naturally a salesperson.
Right.
Probably like you, too.
Yeah.
We like people. We talk. They like us. They trust us. We got deals. I never had to make it into a business until about 7 or 8 years in. Probably 10 years. I mean, because I was doing okay
Right.
and never made it into a system. So if I had done that before,
So
Yeah.
for me, the thing, and I tell agents this all the time, I think if I could have committed to one thing when I started,
Yes.
it would have been, at the time, top producer. I would have just learned it cold. I had it. I never used it. I paid for it. I never used it.
the program top producer.
had the program top producer. Today, for us, it would be command because
Yeah.
we have it. And it's not perfect.
No.
We know it's not perfect. Don't tell us it's not
No
perfect.
CRM's
we
perfect.
understand.
We all-
There is
yeah.
no CRM that's perfect.
Yeah, it's a unicorn.
Like it would be a CRM.
Yes.
Get it, commit to it, and learn it cold. Know everything that it does and use
Use
that.
it.
And just use it. And just that one thing. If I had done that when I started,
Yes.
I sold so many houses that I've never talked to the people again.
Because you didn't have a system to
Your
go back.
database.
And then I'll drive down
Well,
the road and be like,
I think our-
sold
That one,
that.
yeah.
Look at that. Oh, it's up for sale again.
You're like,
Great. They didn't call. Oh, that's
Right.
my fault. They
Oops.
didn't call me.
And they're even on my phone.
Yeah.
And I'm not. No, I think our one thing is the same.
Yeah. So that's
And I really think,
it's so easy to use now. Before you
so
had to
easy.
take the disc, put it in a machine, fire it up, then go in,
Wait 5
log in,
minutes.
wait 5 minutes, type like this into the machine to get the stuff on it, and then
have
hit
it
a
delete
button.
if you didn't save it.
Then print it out, then take the list to somewhere else to get the thing mailed to send stuff to your people. And like now it's just, could you please send that to my entire database?
seriously. Well, you know what? So it's funny that you say that because my wonderful mentor, Darlene Lynch, her first meeting with me, I was like, okay, what do we do? She's like, do you have a database?
You're
I'm like,
a what?
A what?
A
I'm like,
who?
no, I want to talk to people. I'd like you to organize a database. And I, at that point, kind of laughed it off. And Darlene, you know that. Because she was an organized person. That she liked doing that kind of stuff. And I didn't.
Right.
And I got a deal right away.
You knew you were
And I
doing
sold
it.
my
Yeah,
first
that's right.
house in 2 weeks, so I got it.
Who needs a database?
How many of our agents do that because of that one little thing? And yet, if we could have just tapped into that for 15 minutes a day.
Yeah. Or just hired someone to do it.
Yeah, but
Like,
that,
so
it
I-
took me 10 years to do
Right.
that.
So I hired an assistant right away, and I didn't even make the assistant do it. Like, and I should have done
oh,
that. Like,
you even had an assistant.
yeah. Like
oh,
I hired an assistant in my 3rd month in real estate, and I've never not had one since then. And Mostly because I type worse than a small child does, because every small child
Worse
comes
than
out
your
able
handwriting?
to type.
No,
My
just
handwriting,
kidding.
yes. I did write wrote my email on the board earlier today,
And
and
did a good job.
apparently it wasn't very
No,
good.
you just had to work really hard to make
I
it
was
okay.
focused, man. I was
Decoder
trying to
ring.
make sure that was really, the lines were
And
straight.
therefore the assistant.
Yes. So, anyways, Mary Hope. I think that's a mistake that so many agents make, and like you'll see it all the time. And they're like, I know I don't need a day. I just do it, and I just get this many deals, or I just do it and naturally. So how are you following up with them? I'm just doing it on my through my phone, and
Scroll up.
sometimes
and
I remember, and I've got some notes in my car. I'll do it. And you know that there will come a point soon where that busy agent has an absolute meltdown, or their business just takes a dive because they got so busy going in all these different directions, trying to remember the stuff that they didn't do, that then they forgot to do the regular thing that gets them the business all the time.
Agreed.
And they go on the real estate roller coaster. And I think that's if we could solve that dilemma for real estate agents, they would all be millionaires, and it would be great.
Yes.
But I think that's the thing that separates a good real estate agent from a bad real estate agent. And you don't have to be the one that's using a leverage, but you need a person to use a leverage for you to point you in a direction. And if you don't have either a system or a person to do that, then there's a level where the time that you spend on this job will not equal the money that you should be making.
So true.
Yeah.
But I think, and I kind of was mentioning this at our office meeting, what makes you a great agent doesn't necessarily make you a great business owner.
No.
I agree.
And that's where we hit those ceilings on every agent, the ones that just kind of are good from the beginning. And there are those.
But that's why teams are amazing, right? So if you get a
Yeah.
really good team and the team is providing real strong value,
Yeah.
then you could go in and make as much money with even lower stress
Yeah.
being
you
on a
could
team. Like we have some
just do what you're
teams
good.
in New Hampshire where the people in the team are making well into the six figures and not working that hard.
Right.
I mean, you wouldn't say that they're not working that hard to
Right.
them, but they're not.
They're not having to do all
No,
those
they're
things that
showing
agents
up,
don't like doing.
Right, they're showing up on the appointment, they're showing the house, they're writing the contract, they're handing it off, and then they're showing up at the closing. Like, that is awesome. Like, if
Yes.
I could have signed up for that when I started in real estate, I would have been the best team member ever. I would have just shown up. I would have.
Well, that's what the MREA is all about, right?
Give me the lead. I'm going to close it. Here it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Tell me where I need to be at closing.
The problem is, you would have been a great team member, but you wouldn't have joined a team because you
Oh,
wanted.
my ego would have been too big.
There you go. Because
So,
us good
I mean,
agents don't.
I feel
It's
like
true.
now that I've seen it, though,
You're like,
like
me
that's
too. That sounds
awesome.
amazing to
That
me
sounds
too.
great. Oh, I could do it. So I think we and company owners, I think, sometimes get like freaked out by teams. Like, oh my God, why is the team? The team is just another level of service. And if an agent
Absolutely.
decides to join a team because of the other level of service that they're going to get, I think that's great. I think a lot of people try to open teams that shouldn't. Because they don't have any level of service or very little level of service, and they expect the other person to pay and for
Yes.
that thing, and then those fall apart. And we watch those fall apart every year. Like I can,
Absolutely. Well, I think they know they need to expand and grow, but they're not willing to slow down enough to get the leverage before the people,
right?
meaning the agents, right?
Like,
So many
oh,
times
it's going to be great. We're going to get a buyer's agent. I'm just going to hire a buyer's agent. Cool. Who's going to help you work with that buyer's agent and hold them accountable if it's not going to be you? Or who's going to make sure that the lead flow and help them?
Especially if you don't have an
No
admin
one.
first.
They're just going to pay me 50%, and the buyer's agent's going to just
do the work
take
for
my
me,
buyers.
and I'm gonna
Yeah.
just get more listings.
It's like, I'm going to give you 6 months with that, and then that's going to fall apart, and they're going to leave. And that's what happens. And you can...
Well, and that's the beauty of this business, and you've experienced probably even more than me, that we have so many amazing entrepreneurs in
Oh my
this
God.
business, and it's the hardest part of this business because we have a lot of entrepreneurs in this business who don't either, they're not willing to do the work, or they're doing the work but can't let it go and leverage it.
Yeah.
Well, I always say that KW to me mirrors more of an incubator type of a company than a traditional real estate brokerage, right? Because it's like every agent that comes in has the ability to become its own startup, within the ecosystem of KW. And it's like some are set for success because they're a really good agent, but they don't know how to run a business or grow a team or scale the business. And that's what KW offers. It offers a path to scaling and growing your own business within the KW ecosystem.
I prefer teaching hospital.
Teaching. Yes.
Well, I mean, if you think of it, you've got your interns,
Yep.
and you've got your residents, and then you've got your
teaching
you know,
hospital.
you kind of go all the way up the chain there, and I think that's more like what we do.
It's perfect.
I just heard
I mean,
the hospital,
hospital
like,
party
all over the place.
Like, we gotta close this, or they're gonna bleed out. No, I mean, but that. So no, but I think that there's a. It's been a long day already. So so but I think that's accurate. I think we provide a launch pad for so many people to do different things, and the challenge that most good salespeople have is they have no or very little organizational ability.
Yeah.
So they need to be reined in, and they need to accept that and let someone help rein them in.
Yeah.
But we've got, I mean, if you look at all the other companies that have spawned from this in other parts of the industry, or just if you look at just Bedford, like all the some of the agents here that have gone on to do either big investment businesses or mortgage companies or
well, we've interviewed so many of those people that, and that's one thing that we've really noticed. 40 some podcasts. Real estate is literally the starting point.
For
so many things and so many other, like, it's always going to be the hub because everybody needs to buy. Everybody needs to live somewhere. Right? We have property management companies. We have investments. We have people who have built teams. We have people who have collaborated together. We have, I mean, Andrew's one of those. He became an agent, and then he saw so much opportunity in it. And I feel like so many, if we understand the wealth of opportunity in real estate.
Right.
And that's not going away.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, it's evolving. The industry is still going to be there. Like, we're not getting replaced. Like, you are not getting replaced. There is a danger of someone making it easier and replacing you if you don't kind of stay on top of what's going on and stay up with what's happening. I think that's really important. I think engagement right now is more important than ever. And for all of those agents that are listening to this, if you have never been to a realtor event, now is the time to start going to those. The realtor organization protects the industry from everybody else. It protects the industry from people that are trying to tear it down or take your profits away or let banks come in or tech companies or any of the litigation any of the new laws that are coming out to make your job harder or to infringe on property rights. RPAC is the biggest lobby in the country. So lean into that and take advantage of that. Like that, this is an organization where talking is important, communicating with your peers are important, and we have a whole generation of people that's struggling with that. A lot of that has to do with COVID, and I think it's interesting because I have kids that were different ages through COVID, and my older
your
son,
own kids,
my own kids, yeah,
not your agents.
Yes, not my agents.
There's
my
sometimes
kids. And there's some comparisons though, but
yeah,
depending on the age you were when you went through COVID, it affected you very differently.
Absolutely.
And there are some agents, some people, I'm just say people, that went through COVID and they came out and they don't want to communicate with anybody.
Yeah, they've lost the
they
ability.
Really,
to do it,
and whether it's an ability or just a desire, they figured out how to exist without that kind of communication. And then there's the next generation that's coming up that's more like I would say we probably were, where there is that interaction and they enjoy the interaction. They want to be around people, and that they've just, and it's only like it's a weird little window.
It's a bizarre
it's like a 3 or 4 year age difference, and I think we're gonna filter through that to a degree and get back to people being together more and that social aspect of it. But the job of realtor is an important one for society. I've seen it. People buy houses and it changes their lives. I've had people sobbing at closings. I've had I've had fist fights at closings. I've had
it's an emotional process.
It's an emotional process.
Death, divorce, and moving, right?
Yeah, and I've seen people create amazing lives through their buying and selling of real estate and on either facilitating it or being the buyer or seller. And I think that that's just such a special experience that we get to experience with other people because it is the biggest transaction that they ever do make in their lives. So I think our job is really important. And I think if we seal ourselves off and hide behind a lot of the technology, I feel like that like we're robbing ourselves of that experience.
Well, I was going to say that we're kind of feeding into even what you were talking about with RPAC. If we are hiding behind that, we're kind of not proving that it's not a needed industry.
Right.
Where we know it is. When you've ever done a deal that's going a little off, we are what keeps the deal
Absolutely.
together. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yet, if we don't engage in that,
Right.
if we're like afraid of that confrontation and afraid of talking and picking up the phone and talking to that other agent, or just shutting them off if there's any dissent, that's the other thing. There's a lot, so many times agents see any confrontation as bad.
Right.
And they just shut off, or they feel like it's me against you.
Or they take it personal.
Well, yeah, that's of
I mean,
course.
stop
yes.
They
making
assume the
transactions
worst.
personal.
Yeah.
Just let's do the.
But
let's
if
do the
we
business.
do, we're going to be feeding into that.
Oh my God.
That
So
the
much.
idea of what realtors are, and they're only there for the money.
Yeah.
And all of that, and yet it's such an integral part, like you said, of even our culture and the human interaction of buying and selling property.
Right. I think that's so true. And you take someone like Bill, because
Yeah.
we'll talk about, everyone knows Bill Weidecker. He is just a loved human by so many people
Yes.
because of the way he treats his transactions and the way he interacts with his agents and the way he interacts with everyone else's agents and the public. That's how you should be. Like you should be like that. Like that's someone to hold yourself to a different standard. Like I think he's, he sets an example for a lot of us, and I aspire to be like him in a lot of ways, where he's when he interacts with people, and how he does that. Like, and I think that's just great. And I hope we get back to more people
oriented,
being like that. More people. What was the thing that Cody Gibson just said? It was more people talking to more people every day, like that. If you can do that, if you can make yourself a resource to your clients and the community, like you will never go hungry. You will always have a great business. But pick up the phone and talk to people, or go out and talk to people. But the important thing is to talk to people. And talking to people isn't texting them. It's not Instagramming them. It's not emailing them. It is a conversation that you can hear someone's voice and you can see their face and you could shake their hand if you want to. Like that is the interaction that makes this business so special. And everything we do is different and unique. I've never done the same transaction twice, and I've sold the same house 5 times. But I've never done the same deal.
Yeah.
Like I've never done the same deal twice. So, it's every time we have an opportunity to interact is a new opportunity to make a new client relationship, a friend, a great, just impact someone in a positive way, learn something. Like I think, my mission is to leave it better than I found it. Right. Like I want to create the biggest life possible for my friends, my family, the people I work with, and I want to leave everything I touch in business or life better than I found it. Do I always do that? Absolutely not. Do I want to do that and aspire to be that? I do every day.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When you say that, though, I think, especially with all these systems and technology and everything, I think so many times in real estate we feel like, well, if we can just follow these steps, we could be successful. But what you're talking about is a whole different element. We can have all those systems. That's great. We can have even the best CRM and plug into it. But if we are not wanting to make people's lives better.
This gets back to the why question we had last week with Chris, right?
Yeah,
Like
then
knowing what your big why is.
Well, you could sell a few homes.
Yeah.
I think you could sell them pretty well. You're not going to have that deep effect, and you're not going to have that continued success.
Well, those guys don't. Those people don't last. Like we all know them. They're in every market.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they don't. There's no staying power, and when they're done, they're forgettable.
Right. Because they didn't build the trust.
Right. Yeah.
And
the CRM helps you with that.
Well, that's
So we're bringing it all back.
Foundation, that's right.
So you go back to that
It's the
CRM
episode,
in the beginning.
yes.
Like if you,
well, and actually, it's so funny because that is usually our last question of what is one thing you would change or tell some. Actually, we can switch it a little bit because that's the one thing
It
we
would
would
have
have
been that.
changed.
I would-
Okay,
I
no,
would-
but I'm going to ask it a little bit different.
Sure.
Okay. If you were talking to an agent or someone thinking about getting into real estate right now in this climate, what would your one piece of advice be for them?
And it can't be
No,
learn a CRM and
well, it could be, and that's what I kind of was thinking.
Yeah,
but
it actually would be it would be, and it's so corny because Gary says it all the time, but it would be build a database and visit it every day. It would be
Yeah.
it would be that it would be and it would be doing it. My ad would be with a CRM. it would be, I don't care which one it is. Like, I would love for it to be Command, because
Yeah.
Command I think is great. I do think it has bugs, but I think they all do.
Yeah.
We have agents that use Brivity. They have the same. They have similar complaints. They all
Right. No, nothing is
nothing's
perfect.
I think don't overthink the fact that it's never going to be perfect. So don't try to solve that it's not going to be perfect. Just use what's there.
Use it.
And use it at the highest level you can. And then I would say be a student of the market. Don't be the agent that says, I get too many emails about real estate every day. It's your job. That's like you need to check those emails. That's important. I just get too many. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that is.
Yeah, that's literally.
That's what we get paid to do.
The job of you is to learn about the market so that you can take that to your clients and explain it to them. But you don't want to read anything about it? Okay, please. Walmart is hiring.
Well, that's why Bill is so prolific. His knowledge of the numbers in the market is,
I mean, right now we're moving into a skills-based market.
Yes.
Right? So, like, if you don't know how to do absorption pricing when you sit down with your client and you can't go through that, I'm sure there'll be a class here at some point.
Oh, yeah, we
I'm
do
sure
them.
we do
Yeah,
them all
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
So if you can't go through absorption on the fly with your client, like, you are at a disadvantage. If you don't go in to the meeting prepared with the paperwork that they need to sign, then
Someone else is
going to. And if I'm the guy going in behind you and you were there first and you didn't present the legal forms that you're supposed to, they'll never call you again for anything.
Right.
And I'm not going to say a bad word about you. I'm just going to explain that the last person that was here didn't explain to them their legal rights as a consumer in the state of New Hampshire, and that they're going to not ask you for advice buying a pencil. Like, they're never going to call you again. Like, just do your job. And you don't even have to do it at a high level. Right. Like, if you just go in and check a few boxes, man, you'll be great. And if you just talk to people, like, you can do so well. Like, we have people that sign up for this job that in their first year make $250,000. Like, and not just one or two, like a lot, especially in New England. Like, they're all over the place. Like, we have stories of, I have agents that started out with me and they were living in their car. Now they own multiple buildings.
We have a lot of those.
There's we have countless stories like this. This industry changes lives. Let it change yours. Like, just let it.
But you have to.
You just come in and do a little work.
And that actually has been a big theme. Like, just do the work.
You know what? I got a better answer. Sorry. And then
we'll erase that one. No.
So the other thing that I would say is, until you come in and train as much as you can, and you're not allowed to have an original thought until you sell 15 million in volume. Once you've
explain
sold
more.
So once you've sold 15 million, because a lot of agents come in and they want to
Reinvent the
They
wheel.
want to tell us, these are all the things that are wrong with the real estate industry. There's a ton wrong with the real estate industry. Agreed. But until you learn the basics and until you've had enough transactions that you understand the process, you don't have the right to try to change it.
Yes.
So come in and do 15 million. Write all your ideas down. They're all probably valid, but write them all down. And then at the end of when you get to that 15 million, bust out the idea sheet and see which
I love that. I think when people knock on my door, I'm going to say, "Are you at the 15 million?
Yeah,
Come back." No,
you're not allowed. You're not allowed to be creative until you get there. But
it's true.
But I think that there are so many people that are going to change this industry and are going to make it better. And it's not going to be the guy that comes in and has done one transaction.
Right.
That's or no transactions. But like, we have those. They show up. But I think that's don't overthink it. Just do what we say.
Yeah.
Like, just take the training, do what we say, and you can make a ton of money.
And I
15
think-
million.
and
Then
I-
you can have new ideas.
It's true, though, but that's so against the grain of most of us entrepreneurs.
Correct.
And that's what I think gets in the way to both of us.
Yeah.
Right? Like, just do the database.
Yeah.
No,
I don't want to.
I don't want to, because I want to do something more creative. I want to go.
I talk to all my friends plenty. I don't
Yeah.
need to do a database.
That's right. And I'm really a good realtor. So people are going to refer
Yeah,
me
they're
to
just
that.
going to,
Yeah, they're going to.
And then you go to the first cookout on 4th of July, and your friend's going to be like, "Oh, you sell real estate? Damn, I just bought $1 million house on Lake Winnipesaukee." Well, there aren't no million.
Yeah,
there
I
are
was
no
just gonna
$1 million
say,
houses on
that
Lake
was
Winnipesaukee.
about 10 years ago.
But yeah, I just bought a $10 million house on Lake Winnipesaukee. But I mean, that's
true.
that happens all the time. It happens to everybody too. So,
Everybody.
like, there's no like it does.
we're not
You're not.
immune.
No one's immune to it, but
Yeah.
you'll be a lot less likely to have it happen if you're using some kind of CRM.
I love it. I love
How
it.
long are these podcasts supposed to last? I'm looking at the time.
We're
We've been
almost
here
done.
for a while.
Yeah, we're just going to close it up.
I was thinking, like, am I really?
Yeah, no, but
Wow.
no, I kept on thinking of added.
I mean,
questions.
we'll keep going.
Yeah, no. Anything.
Clearly, I
anything
like to hear
less,
myself
Andrew?
talk.
No, but I think these are things that we have talked about so much on this podcast, and I love hearing it. We've heard the stories from the agents, a lot of them, and also other partners. But hearing it from someone who owns a company, who looks at it from a bigger picture and is still saying the same things, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it is what it is.
Well, we're still training now. Like, I'm going to Texas for a training. That's on my own dime. I'm to go and sit with the other owners that are doing it better than me.
Right.
Like, and I'm gonna hopefully come back. I mean, not that I will. I'll come back with something. Like, and I'm coaching all the time. I have a coach.
We're always growing.
So I think as soon as you stop, like, doing those things, I think that's where you start to go the other way. And my biggest fear is that I'm not going to be relevant, and I'm going to keep doing this. Real estate's an industry where you can kind of linger.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't want to be that. Like, I would like to continue to be, hitting new milestones and growing.
Well, and not for the sake of just being bigger and better, but naturally we have to be growing or we're going backwards.
Society's growing and grow with it.
Well, this is the thing with leadership, right? I am very lucky to have great people around me, and I want to keep them around me. And if I don't continue to grow my world, then they're going to leave me and go do something else. And for me to keep them around me, it's super important that we continue to grow to provide new opportunity and more opportunity for them. And if I don't do that, then I lose them. And that to me is me failing them. So, like, my job is to continue to push them and to push everybody to learn, so that to lead them, so that I can help create more opportunities. So that's like the burden of leadership, right? You don't you get to a point where you're big, but if you want to get bigger and grow with cooler people, more not cooler people, that's wrong. More if you want to keep the cool people around you and you want to enhance their lives, but you need to then continue to add and to
adding value to them.
You got to
evolve.
Yeah, and you got to keep doing things that are going to push the limits and make the company better and create a better environment for the agents, so more agents want to be there, so that we can continue to change people's lives. I mean, and that sounds, if you're not in the system, that sounds really weird, but it's true. Like, that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. But we do change lives.
We do, 100%.
Not we. This industry changes.
This industry, if you let it, can change your life.
If you're surround yourself with the right people.
Absolutely. And if you're with the right organization, and there's a lot of right organizations. And we are biased, obviously, to ours. And I believe ours is the best. And I truly believe that. I mean that. I recruit people.
But you've also staked all your.
Yeah, I'm in. Like,
you're in.
I'm all the way in. Like, so there's no me getting out of it. Like, I am all the way in. So, but I think I'm happy to do that, and it's certainly changed my life, and it's changed my family's life, and provided great opportunity for us, and it's changed the lives of a lot of people that work for me, and I've watched it change agents' lives, and some of those agents don't stay. We completely change their lives, and then they leave, and you're like, what just happened? And that's hard, but you get through that, and you learn to still like people. But but that's a thing that I mean, it's
sometimes.
Yeah, and then after the wound heals, you kind of think about it. You're like, I'm proud of them, But you kind of, but it's. I mean, I'm not really, but it's we have such an opportunity and kind of a gift to give, and the industry it does create such a it can open so many doors. So I would encourage you. You're at the right place. You're listening to the right thing. Lean in and just and see what it can do for you. But I mean, I think it's just such a great business to be in.
Yeah.
That was perfect. That was a beautiful wrap up of everything. So we need not say more.
Yeah, right, we're out then.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. All right.
Well, Andrew does the out.
Oh, sorry.
Well, no,
Andrew, and to you, sir.
No, I just do the
brought to us by Brookline Historical Society. That's right. There we go. That's a great. I think we all need.
This is where we need to thank our sponsors, which is Okay, we're all done with the sponsorship. No, but thank you for coming on, taking the time to sit with us and talk about it. It's invaluable for not just us, but obviously for every agent in this house here who actually listens to this podcast and has been on the podcast, because they come on and they realize, oh wow, everybody's got something unique to share from a different perspective, but it all adds up to kind of the same cumulative sort of understanding of what makes us work and what doesn't. So. Yeah. Well, great. Well, thank you for watching. We've appreciated you this season. We have one more episode left, so make sure to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Give us a like and a follow, and leave a comment on Spotify. And we'll see you next week.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Behind the Sign, Real Stories from Real Estate.
We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and gained a little insight into the world behind those for sale signs.
Today's episode was brought to you by Keller Williams Realty Metropolitan, proudly serving New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, and Massachusetts. A special thank you to our agents, leadership, and partners at KW Metro for their continued support.
And thanks to you, our amazing listeners and viewers. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.
Leave us a review or comment. We love hearing your feedback, and it helps more people discover the show.
And if you have a real estate story you'd like to share or a question you want answered on a future episode, reach out to us at metro.kw.com or find us on Instagram, handle @KWMetroNH.
Until next time, we'll see you
behind the sign.